you doing?
Feeling the fan.
Is that your biggest fan? Whoa, 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 whoa. Jacob. Where are we at?
What is it, Liberty?
Liberty, liberty, liberty.
We're in Liberty. That's I don't know where I'm between today. Smithville and somewhere else.
No, today wasn't last minute. It wasn't last minute, but we're between a rock and a hard place. I swear.
Josh, you look tired.
I am.
Why?
Stayed up late last night. We went to Aaron's house and we played hide and go seek. And gosh, we stayed out playing that till 11:30. But basically, the entire house, you could hide anywhere, and you could hide anywhere in the yard. And found out I'm a master of hiding. Me and Aaron both pretty good at hiding. We played on teams. First we hid in the crawl space, and Jake's team was actually looking for us. And we were in this crawl space, and we could hear everything they're saying. And then Aaron thought it would be funny to start texting Jake and like taunting him. And basically making fun of Jake because Jake couldn't find us.
Because I legitimately didn't know where the crawl space was.
Johnny played with us last night, and Johnny was on mine and Aaron's team, and Johnny was supposed to go in the crawl space with us. But Johnny looked in the crawl space and he said, I'll just go hide somewhere else.
So the best part, we have cameras outside our house, like just 3 cameras, and they're not that official, but they look official. And so me and Josh were in the crawl space underneath my bedroom where the base was. So Jake was up there, and I was sending him like little voice memos, little voice chats, and you hear Jake go. Jake's going. He's sending me voice chats. I don't hear what he's saying. Well, then I go upstairs and I'm like, Jacob, I knew where you were. And Jake goes, how'd you know? And I said, we do have cameras. And Jake looks at Jane and goes, I think I know where they were. And she was right. And Jake goes, no, they legit have cameras. He was behind us.
So the next round we played, Brooklyn, Talitha, and Zachary were on a team, and they were seeking. Well, I hid out in the backyard, and if you saw Aaron's yard, there's like nowhere to hide in the yard. They have a few skinny trees in the backyard, but I dressed in all black and I laid down in the grass and like hid in the shadow of a tree, and it worked. What I did is, after they looked in the backyard and then they moved on. Well, I then moved hiding spots to where they'd already looked.
What would you?
Which stirred up a huge debate. So if you would please help us solve this debate. While playing hide and go seek, are you allowed to?
Tagging. There is no tagging.
There is no tagging in this. It's just when they find you, you're out. Is it cheating if you move spots? Or are you allowed to move spots? Because I was like super stealthy, and like they couldn't find me because I was just so quick, and I'd moved spots several times. So this caused a debate. Please help us settle that.
So Johnny, we were hiding, and he goes, hey, I want to go to the roof. And Johnny, there has to be a reason why he can't do something. It can't be his fault. So I said, Johnny, that's fine, but be careful. It's slick up there. So we get up there. We're about to go out to the roof. You have to climb through one of our windows. And Johnny goes, I'm not going to go. You go by yourself. So I have the roof by myself. It's great. I get caught. Well, then I'm like, Johnny wouldn't go with me. He's like, no, you said I couldn't. You said it was too slick. And I said, no, Johnny, I told you to be careful. He's like, no, you said it was too slick, so I couldn't go. So anyway, the reason why he didn't go in the crawl space with us was because we needed someone to shut it. Not his fault, even though he was the first one supposed to go in. And the reason he didn't go on the roof was my fault because it was too slick.
Also, might I add that Johnny is probably the worst hide and seek partner of all time.
No, he was solid though. He was solid.
He was. But the things he did while we were playing
Oh
this
my
game.
gosh.
Aaron's on the roof. Johnny shines a flashlight at him in the middle of him hiding and starts waving to him and totally just gives away where he's hiding. And then I'm hiding in the grass just laying there in that shadow. And Johnny comes over and says, "Hey, you're doing a good job." It's like, you kind of blow my cover here.
Jacob, tell us what happened.
So last night in the middle of hiding, I was hiding in like the upstairs of their house, and it's got like a little storage room with insulation and everything. I was hiding behind a bunch of stuff. Well, they send Zachary back to find me, and I know that Zachary's gonna find me, it's inevitable. Well, while he starts to crawl back there, it's pitch black, and I growl at him, and I think I scared Brooklyn more than I did Zachary.
Well, the worst part too is apparently Jackie goes, "That's my daddy." And I'm like, "That was not your daddy."
I think one of the funniest parts for me was that 2 of my hiding spots were right in plain sight, and like they had trouble finding me.
Well, you and Brooklyn, when y'all hid in the dining room, I went and looked twice for them. Now it is like all lights are off, and like you can't see unless you're using a flashlight. And when you play this game, you're supposed to have really bright flashlights, and we're using our phones, so it's not like. But I look in the dining room, and we have these big long benches. It's like one of those like farmhouse dining tables. And so I went to look, and I was looking around, couldn't find anybody. So I went and looked outside, and about 20 minutes later I come back inside, and I'm looking around in the dining room again, nothing. Well, I hear Jacob say something, and everyone starts laughing. Apparently Josh was just laying on the bench, just laying on the bench. And Brooklyn was up in the window with the curtains, like covered like that. And then the second time around, she just got the floor and laid down, and I never saw her, so.
Yeah. She got to where she could no longer hold herself up like this, so she just laid down in front of the window, and no one could find her. It was pretty funny. Gospel Road Coach, Gospel Road Coach, Gospel Road Coach, what can we learn? Gospel Road Coach. This morning we were talking about how breath support is vital for your singing. What are 3 exercises people can learn to help build up their breath support?
If you were any Winnie the Pooh character, which one would you be?
Oh, Baba.